Parliament asks Twitter about Russian meddling in Brexit vote. London, a British lawmaker said on Friday that some of the same Russian-linked Twitter accounts that sought to influence the American presidential election were also deployed in Britain, in the strongest indication yet that Russia used the same tactics on both sides of the Atlantic. Twitter disclosed to the United States Congress this week that it had identified 2,752 accounts affiliated with Russia's internet research agency, a notorious troll factory. In a letter to the company, the lawmaker, Damian Collins, wrote that it has subsequently emerged that some of those accounts were also posting content that relates to the politics of the United Kingdom. Mr. Collins, a conservative who is leading a parliamentary inquiry into fake news, had been presented with screenshots showing the same Russian-linked accounts posting about Britain, his office said Friday. Any evidence that Russia sought to use social media to manipulate British politics, as the Kremlin appears to have done in the United States and France, could raise questions about the legitimacy of the referendum last year that called for Britain's withdrawal from the European Union, or Brexit. The Brexit process has tied the Conservative government in knots, with cabinet divisions that have badly weakened Prime Minister Theresa May. Any suspicions about Russian interference in the vote would deepen the troubles Mrs. May already faces in rallying her government around a unified stance over Brexit. Although Twitter reaches a relatively small British audience, Russian efforts to use the platform would suggest that its propagandists were also active on Facebook, which has more users and is much harder for those outside the company to monitor. Asked about the claim that accounts linked to Russia had also posted about Britain, a Twitter spokesman declined to comment. But the spokesman said that Twitter would support government investigations into election interference. Russia is eager to weaken or divide the European Union, which it sees as a threat to its influence in Eastern Europe, so it would not be surprising if it were found to have mounted a campaign in favor of Brexit. In response to a congressional inquiry, social media companies acknowledged for the first time this week that Russian agents seeking to roil American politics had reached 126 million users with Facebook posts, published more than 131,000 messages on Twitter, and uploaded more than 1,000 videos to Google's YouTube service. Facebook said Russia's internet research agency had posted roughly 80,000 pieces of divisive content that was shown to about 29 million people between January 2015 and August 2017, and those posts were then widely shared and reposted to reach far more. The company said it had deleted more than 170 accounts on its photo-sharing app Instagram that had posted about 120,000 pieces of Russia-linked content. Researchers at the City University of London have already identified an unusual disappearance after the Brexit vote of 13,500 Twitter accounts that were incredibly active around the referendum, the vast majority campaigning for Britain to leave the bloc. All 65,000 messages posted on those accounts in the 4 weeks before the vote were deleted shortly afterward. That has raised questions about the possibility that a coordinated bot army was deployed, and also about the possibility that Twitter itself may have detected and removed them without disclosing the manipulation. Because creating active Twitter accounts can be costly, owners who use them for campaigns typically prefer not to discard them. A spokesman for Twitter has declined to comment. In his letter, Mr. Collins, the chairman of the Digital, Culture, Media and Sports Select Committee, asked Twitter for a list of accounts linked to the Internet Research Agency and any other Russian-linked accounts that it has removed, and examples of any posts from these accounts that are linked to the United Kingdom. Mr. Collins asked the company to provide the information by the end of November.